Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe and enable the bell notification button so you know the moment new content drops your way. Now, adventurers, let's get to questing. Hello everyone, your one and only Tocharaeh here. Guys, I did it. I found a void within YouTube that needed filling, and we were just the ones to do it. Tutorials on the epic survivalist game by Creepy Jar, Green Hell. That's right, we're doing tutorials on Green Hell. Now, I have never done a tutorial series before, but there is a first for everything, so let's get this started. We've got this nice little spot kind of nestled out, not yet explored, but here we are. So we have some friends. This is Rango, and that's Gerald, and that's it. They've run off. Oh, just in time for one of the spontaneous rainforest showers that the Amazon is known for. We will enjoy that while Rango and Gerald have our backs. We're going to, well, build a shelter. But the first thing we need are some tools. And we're going to go ahead and kind of gather some wood up real quick. And maybe find us some rocks. Okay, so big stone. We can harvest these big stones for smaller stones. I'm not really sure how that works. It's definitely a series of breaking said stones, but we're going to get some stones here. Okay, so we're going to need rope. We're going to make rope or we're already making the rope. We're getting our rope. We need lots of that. Ah! Okay, and you don't go near that. That's death with a rattle. All right, folks, we have gathered enough sticks for the moment. So what we're going to do is get into our crafting. So we have some large stick, some regular sticks and some small sticks. We're going to use one regular stick, one rope, and now we have some leaves. Cool. We'll need those for soon. Okay, and we've got these stones that we harvested. Now you can pile these up. They're heavy. They take up space, but it's okay. All right. We're going to place our stones. It doesn't matter where you place them. You can place it. This isn't like Minecraft. It's not specific in where you place everything. Now, as you can see, if I do one stone and one rope, you get a stone axe. But if we place a rope and another stone, then we get, well, an axe. This is important for science. Okay. Very good. Okay, so we have our axe and a stone axe. So you can see the durability differences. So obviously the stone axe is less durable than the straight up axe. So there we go. We have our axe. So now what we need to do is we need to plan something here. So let's use our regular axe to kind of cut away some leaves. We're going to clear out our living area. Okay, so we have established a nice little area for the building. We've got plenty of space right here. And we have two areas of approach. So we can kind of think about that. Where do we want our door to just face in? Oh, okay. So we have a hazard here. Ants. Watch out for that. They do bite. Okay, so we have cleared the area, and what I have done is set up, pre-staged our two different shelter plannings. What we did is we hit C on the keyboard, went to the house icon, and chose small shelter for here. We just basically you look for a spot. White is good, red is bad, and then, of course, if you've got a spot that is good, I will show you this. This means that I have to clear out some... You can kind of see that the palm leaves in the back and the other foliage in our foreground here, they're highlighted yellow. That means we got to cut those away in order for... There's an obstruction, so we've got to cut those away before we can actually build there, but it is a viable place for building. So with that, what we need to do is gather For our small shelter, 2 logs, 8 long sticks, 9 rope, and 26 palm leaves. For the hut shelter, it's 8 sticks, 3 long sticks, 1 rope, and 13 palm leaves. Commence with the montage. During this sped up gathering footage, I wanted to be sure that you understood the different yields between the 2 trees that can be cut down. Please be aware that coconut trees and the more ancient looking large trunked trees, as well as the massive old logs on the ground, cannot be foraged from. With that said, the yield for the fully grown trees is as follows: 2 logs, 1 long stick, 1 regular stick, and 1 small stick. The younger, thinner trees yield 2 long sticks, 2 regular sticks, and 2 small sticks. The premise is the same for bamboo, which we will come to in later episodes. Okay, folks, so what we have done here is we have gathered all of our long sticks and a lot of our short sticks we already had. So now we're just going to apply our rope. Alright, there we go. Looking good. This is why you... Okay, so we just need 2 more pieces. Okay, very good. So now all we need to do to complete these 2 shelters are the palm leaves. And as I said, you can sleep in this, but you can't save. You can't sleep in this, but you can save. So, yeah, palm leaves. Okay, and so that's how you build your 2 basic shelters. And when starting out in the story mode, you will not start out in a place with bamboo. We will build bamboo structures later, but for now this is basic wood housing. With that said, once again, you can sleep in the hut shelter, but not save. However, you can save in the small shelter, but not sleep. So let's go ahead and save. Okay, and then, of course, we can sleep. So we've established that between the hut shelter and the small shelter, sleep, save, no sleep, save. However, the caveat to the small shelter is that we can place a bed of our choosing. We can do the banana leaf or the leaf bed. We will place... Let's see if we can place both. You cannot. Okay. So we will do a leaf bed off to the side here. It'll let us. Or perhaps in the back. Somewhere, no. Alright. Yeah, let's do it in front of the ants. That seems like a good place to do it. If you want ants. If you want ants, this is how you get ants. Alright? So our leaf shelter, or leaf bed will be there. However, we'll put our banana leaf bed inside the small shelter and get our banana leaves. Okay, we have gathered our required leaves. We need 10 palm leaves. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can carry a maximum of 6 palm leaves at a time. I made sure to grab enough though, just in case I accidentally miscounted, so we have lots. We can use them for later. And that's our leaf bed. And as you can see, we can hold to sleep. We cannot save with the beds. That is reserved only for the small shelter and our more advanced shelters. We'll go ahead and start placing our banana leaves. Again, you can only hold up to 6 leaves at a time in terms of these stacks. I will say, be prepared to do lots of walking back and forth when building. Okay, and I think with that, we'll call it good for basic shelter needs. Knowing that you can place these beds is really important. When you are exploring and are away from your homes and need to sleep through the night, or are really tired and therefore need to sleep before you faint, which is bad news bears, this is important to remember at all times. You can always build at least a bed. So the next thing what we're going to need to do for basic setup is creating a small fire. Now, if you build a fire in the open, the rain will put it out. However, you can place it in your shelter. So we're going to go ahead and place the fire right about here. Seems like a good spot. It should be safe underneath the shelter and therefore not run the risk of being put out. This now requires an ember. The way to do this is that we will need to make a plank. And the best way to get a plank is to harvest it from a log. And I think we have a log. Yes, we have a few logs. Let's go ahead and grab both of these logs while we're here. Okay, we are going to harvest the logs. Each log produces 1 plank. And as you can see, it doesn't just magically fit into your bag lengthwise. And you can't stack them, unfortunately. I wish you could stack up to 2, at least, but you cannot. However, what you need to do is, with the plank, and they can either be in your backpack or on the ground, you're going to go over to craft to bring up our craft menu. With that, we will get ourselves just get a small stick. We're going to get a small stick. Okay, that creates a basic hand drill. We will right-click on our hand drill, hit use. Now, our bird's nests would normally be placed here. However, for our dried leaves, which are held here instead of in the fire spot, which can be convenient or inconvenient depending on your point of view, you just left-click and drag over to the hand drill.
Bitch!
And with that, you hit ignite on your fire, and there it is. You now have a fire. With this, we have 2 cooking spots. This is a great way to cook meat and boil water. Speaking of boiling water, we got lucky and had some coconuts. They're growing just above us here. Drop down. So here you can just pick up or destroy. I don't know why you would do that, but you could just destroy this coconut. However,
Shit!
We're going to
Seriously?
break our axe on it. Okay, so we've broken our axe, but that's okay. Now that we have exposed the coconut underneath the rind, we can right-click and we can choose to drink, spill, harvest, take, or craft. Now, what I would first do, this is my recommendation, is to drink it. That gives you a total of 15 hydration points towards your hydration number that you can find on your watch in blue. With that, we can harvest. Now, how we can harvest without a blade, I do not know. But now we have these coconut shells with the flesh on the inside. You can eat these, which gets you 10 fats and 5 carbohydrates. Once that happens, they leave the food menu and go directly into your coconut, or into your regular place for your coconut bowls. With that, you can then, of course, place your bowls. Now, if you leave a bowl outside on its own, it will, in fact, fill up with water for a total of 10 hydration points, but only if exposed to the elements. However, this is under shelter, so that's not really going to happen. So let's go ahead and take this coconut bowl and just throw it on the ground here so that you can see this working. As you can see, we now have clean water. If we just leave it there, it'll actually fill up completely. 10 hydration, there we go. Okay, so as you can see, that worked. So it's a great way to collect water. However, it's even better when used as a bowl. With that being said, we now need to get to these coconuts up here. We need at least one so that we can take full advantage of our fire. To do this, we're going to right-click on our long stick, hit Craft, and open up our Craft menu. From this point, we will then drag over our rope and create a bow. Wonderful. Now, remember, we actually picked up a toucan a little earlier, and as you remember, there was a parrot. We're just going to harvest these. By the way, if you don't harvest birds, they will not spoil. I don't know why that is, but there you go. So if you're ever worried about meat spoiling, keep the birds as they are and they won't spoil. But the meat, however, the meat will spoil. And as you can see, the rate of decay, we have only 19 hours left for this meat to be any good before it goes bad. Now, the parrot has produced for us 6 bird feathers. We're going to right-click on the bird feather, hit Craft, and then we're going to hit Craft one more time. We need a total of 2 feathers. And we're going to go back to our sticks and drag the small stick over. This will create an arrow. We'll do this 2 more times. And we now have 3 arrows. Wonderful. With that, we can then take down this coconut. What you're going to do is left click to draw and then hold down shift to steady aim. And try not to miss. Alright, very good. We got our coconut. We will now hit the coconut. We will drink the coconut. And then we're going to take our coconut. We will now enter into our backpack. Go to where our coconut is contained. Hit Craft. And then click and drag a rope on to create the coconut bite-on. The bite-on will hold 40 units of water. Now, you can't just hold down some special key to fill up your bite-on. You actually will have to click and drag over. So make sure your cursor is, in fact, over the water, as close to you as is reasonable. And then you're going to click and drag until you see the fill icon. It looks like a little boat and some waves. That will fill for 40 units of hydration. It is unsafe water, however, so don't drink directly from it. But you go back to our bowls, and you're going to click and drag to the spill icon over each of our bowls. This will now commence with the boiling. You can actually, we're going to go ahead and, well, let's do 2 things. We've spilled this, so we've now emptied that. We're going to do 2 things with the bite-on so that you can see how this works. But we're going to go ahead and drag our macaw meat over and begin our meat soup. We're going to take our coconut bite-on and drag it over to the boiled water. You cannot put soup. Soup does not go in a bite-on, but regular clean water can for 10 hydration units each. There are other containers, such as the metal pot, which will hold 30 hydration units, and the turtle shell, which I believe holds 50. But in any case, you can click and drag over and begin to fill these up with clean water. I highly, highly recommend you do this. Don't forget about it. And then, of course, enjoy your fantastic parrot meal. Unfortunately, there are no crackers for polysuit. With that, we're going to do one more brief tutorial on basic things. So we're going to make a stone spear, which requires a long stick, a stone blade, and rope. Now, we have not yet made a stone blade, but all it takes are 2 stones. And the reason why it would take 2 is because you're using one to chip the other into a sharp point. So with that, we'll go into our crafting menu, place our 2 stones to create the stone blade. We have our stone blade. Now we just need... Actually, we don't need anything. We're going to go ahead and craft on our long stick. Drag and drop the stone blade. And of course, our rope. You now have your 3 basic hunting materials. Okay, and with that, what we're going to do is make one more thing that is important to have at all times, and that is a blade. Again, we just go over to our stones, drop 2 stones onto our crafting block, and make our basic stone blade. Now, you can place your stone blade up here that you don't intend to use. This is important because these numbers here, 1, 2, 3, 4, are not arbitrarily placed there. That is actually your number 1, 2, 3, and 4 key. This has no default key. However, if you want to harvest meat from, say, this poor armadillo here, it requires that you have a stone blade at least. Well, alright everyone, I think that concludes this first episode of the Green Hell tutorial series. We have covered the very basics for you to survive with the bare necessities. Stay tuned for the next episode where we will cover advanced camp establishment and modular shelters. If you're new here, please throw us a like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitch as well, where we stream and have a good time with it. Links in the description below.